A key freezes in midair, a hand on the doorknob, your dog looks up, still quiet, watching. And is that exactly why most owners miss it? The real trigger happens before the door closes. The most painful part of being left alone may not be the time after you leave. It may be the final 30 seconds before you go. The hidden signal owners misread. There is one tiny signal in that moment that changes everything about what your dog is feeling. The silent question your dog is asking, and by the end of this, you may realize your dog has been asking you the same question every single day, and you never knew you were answering it. Most people think comfort means more affection, more words, more eye contact, one last hug, one last "I'll be back soon." But for many dogs, that extra emotion does not feel calm. It feels like thunder right before the house goes silent. In a moment, I'll show you the exact 30-second ritual that can soften that wave before it builds. Not a trick, not magic, not a command your dog obeys. A message your dog feels. And the strangest part is this. Your dog may be reacting to your body long before they react to your absence. So let's start with the surface truth. Your dog is not only reacting to being alone. Your dog is reacting to the leaving moment itself. The keys, the shoes, the slowed conversation, the glance toward the door, the change in your breathing, the speed in your hands. To you, these are tiny details. To your dog, they are a forecast. Many dogs in distress show it fast. Sometimes before the door shuts, often within minutes after you leave. That is why behavior specialists tell owners to look closely at the first stretch of absence, not just what they come home to later. And here is where it gets stranger. If you judge your dog only by the chewed pillow, the scratched door, the barking complaint from a neighbor, you are seeing the ending, not the beginning. The beginning is much quieter. A lip lick, a shadowing step, a sudden stare at your hand, a body that stiffens when your shoes go on. What happens in the first invisible minute? That first invisible minute after you disappear tells the real story. And before I show you what to do in those 30 seconds, you need to understand one thing first. Your dog is not grading your words. Your dog is reading your state. This next part is the one most owners get wrong. They leave in a burst of love. They crouch low. Their voice gets soft and sad. They pet faster. They linger. They apologize. But dogs are masters of pattern, not poetry. Your dog does not hear, "This is okay," just because your words say it. If your body says urgency, hesitation, guilt, or alarm, your dog feels the change underneath the sentence. That is why the doorway becomes so emotionally loaded. Why affection can backfire. The problem is not that you love your dog too much. The problem is the shape that love takes in the final seconds. There was even a small study where dogs who received gentle petting before a brief separation stayed calmer during that separation than when they were not petted first. Not hyped up, not soothed with frantic emotion. Just calmer, gentle contact, lower arousal, a steadier nervous system. That is the clue. The hidden signal owners misread. The signal most owners misread is not some dramatic behavior. It is the emotional spike around departure itself. And once you see that, the ritual starts to make perfect sense. Here is layer 1 of the answer. Before you leave, stop moving. Not for long, just 30 seconds. Become the opposite of a rushed human. Turn slightly sideways to your dog instead of looming straight over them. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Slow your hands. Let one breath out longer than it came in. Then do it again. You are not performing. You are regulating. You are telling your dog, without a speech, without a lecture, without a dramatic goodbye. Nothing dangerous is happening right now. The real trigger happens before the door closes because yes, the real trigger often starts before the door ever moves. Then comes layer 2. Place one calm hand on your dog's chest, shoulder or side. Not a flurry of pats. Not excited rubbing. Just 3 slow strokes in the same rhythm every time. Then one short phrase. The same phrase every day. Rest now. You're okay. Back soon. Soft, plain, predictable. But don't leave yet, because the touch is not the whole ritual. The final piece that makes the ritual work. There is one more piece, and it is the part that turns calm into something your dog can actually trust. Now layer 3. Right after the calm touch, give your dog something to do with their body, a stuffed Kong, a lick mat, a safe chew they get only when you leave. Now your departure is no longer just the loss of you. It becomes a sequence your dog can predict. Calm body, calm touch, same phrase, good thing appears, human leaves cleanly. That is not bribery, that is association. That is exactly why evidence-based separation work leans so heavily on counter-conditioning and gradual exposure instead of punishment, pressure, or hoping the dog will. Just get used to it. And I need to be honest with you here. If your dog is in true panic, this ritual is not the whole cure. It is the doorway, not the entire road. Dogs' real separations distress often need a slower plan, shorter absences, careful desensitization, and a pattern of success that builds without pushing them over threshold. But this 30-second ritual still matters deeply because it removes the accidental alarm from the goodbye. It stops love from sounding like danger. And in a moment, I'll show you the one sign that tells you your dog actually felt the message. Here it is. Do not measure success by silence alone. Do not measure success by whether your dog instantly lies down like a saint in a commercial. Watch for the pause. Does your dog rush the door the second you move away? Do they freeze and refuse the food? Do they stare after you with a body that stays tight? Or do they notice the change? Pause. Exhale, blink, and return to the chew. The meaning of the pause. That pause is one of the most beautiful things a dog can give you, because calm does not always look dramatic. Sometimes calm looks like, I noticed you leave, and I did not fall apart. Now here is the emotional truth under all of this. Your dog is not begging for a performance. Your dog is borrowing your nervous system. When you leave in a storm, your dog feels the storm. When you leave in rhythm, your dog can borrow the rhythm. That is why 30 seconds can matter so much. It is not about filling time. It is about changing the emotional texture of the departure itself. And once you understand that, the whole relationship looks different. Because the goodbye was never just a goodbye. It was information. But the biggest reveal is still ahead. Because the real reason this works has almost nothing to do with the door. What your departure means inside your dog's mind. It has to do with meaning. Some dogs experience your exit as a normal part of life. Some experience it as confusion. Some experience it as the moment the world stops making sense. And the difference between those feelings is not always how much your dog loves you. It is often how predictable the leaving pattern feels to their brain. That is why the next part matters more than most owners realize. When routines change suddenly, dogs can start showing new separation-related behaviors even if they seemed fine before. More time together, less time together, a new work schedule, a different leaving pattern, a different morning rhythm. To you, it feels like life. To your dog, it can feel like the map vanished. That is one reason consistent pre-departure rituals help so much. They rebuild a pattern your dog can trust. They say, the world is still understandable, the sequence still holds, you are safe inside it, and now for untold reveal. The 30 seconds are not just calming your dog, they are calming you, because guilt leaks, hurry leaks, second-guessing leaks. The hand on the knob that hesitates for 1 second too long, the face that looks back one extra time, the voice that gets sweeter because it is afraid. Your dog reads all of it, faster than your sentence, deeper than your intention. The silent question your dog is asking. The question your dog has been asking all along is simple. Should I be worried right now? And for 30 seconds, your body gets to answer, no. That is why the ritual works best when it is boring. Yes, borings. Same posture, same pace, same phrase, same reward, same clean exit. Not new every day, not emotionally rich, not theatrical. Predictable, mercifully predictable. Because predictable is what turns a departure from a mystery into a pattern, and pattern is what gives your dog something stronger than excitement. It gives them orientation. Why affection can backfire. So no, affection is not the enemy. Uncontained emotion at the threshold is. If you try this tomorrow and your dog still cries, do not call yourself a failure. Do not call your dog stubborn. Call it data. It may mean your dog needs more than a calming cue. It may mean the departures are still too long, too fast, too unpredictable for their current ability. And that is not a character flaw. It is simply the place where your dog is standing today. Some dogs need a whisper. Some need a full plan. Real love is learning the difference and giving the dog in front of you what they actually need.